Well, that's that. Insidious The Red Door is a brand new 2023 horror film directed this time by Patrick Wilson, and it also stars Patrick Wilson as well as Ty Simpkins and Sinclair Daniel. And I don't know exactly what I was expecting from this movie, especially since part 4 was terrible. But I actually didn't hate this movie. I actually ended up really enjoying it, at least much better than part 4. So let's go ahead and start this review off, starting off with the good. And like I said, I ended up really enjoying this movie, probably more than a lot of people will, but uh, yeah, starting off with the good, like I said, Patrick Wilson is really great in this movie. After 2 movies of his character not being there, he comes back and he delivers a really great performance. Gets a lot of layers to the character. Really enjoyed the way that Patrick Wilson played every bit of this part. And then you have Ty Simpkins in this movie, and this movie is much more focused on his character. He is the main character in this movie, and he does a really great job. When this movie first started, I didn't know how I was going to feel about the character or how they were portraying him. But as the movie went along, it started to make sense why they went the way that they did with the character. And I really enjoyed the character arc and the payoff with his character, as well as Patrick Wilson's character by the end of the movie. I thought it was very well handled. Their relationship, the development that we get there, really well done, well handled, in my opinion. And then we get a new character played by Sinclair Daniel, and just like with Ty Simpkins' character, I was not sure how I was going to like this character at first when she's first introduced, but I also really liked her by the end of the movie. She was very likable, she was very funny, she had really great chemistry with Ty Simpkins. I really loved their scenes together. And I love that she actually gets in and tries to help by the third act of this movie. And then I also really enjoyed the story here, much better than part 4 at least. I really love the whole aspect of father and son bonding within this movie. And speaking on that note, this movie has a lot more heart to it than I expected any Insidious movie to ever have. Got a lot of really great emotional scenes and revolutions about certain characters. And also, without spoiling anything, this is the first movie in the franchise that does not heavily focus on Elise, played by Lynn Shay. Um, all I will say is she is in the movie, but she's not a main character this time. This is fully focused on the Lambert family, specifically Patrick Wilson and Ty Simpkins' characters, and I feel like it really handled the fact that this wasn't an Elise story. I think it handled it very well. I think that it was very well executed with how they made it more of a Lambert story instead of an Elise story. And also, it was just really great to see the lipstick demon back. I'll get a little bit more on his involvement later, but just really great to see the character back. He's easily the most iconic villain of this franchise. And you got some really great creepy atmosphere and a building sense of dread. And some new aspects to the story and the canon of this franchise that really build onto the world that James Wan and Lee Winnell created. And the score is really great as well. This movie focuses way less on the loud noises, and I really appreciated that. But that's about all for the good. On to the bad, and there's a few things I just wasn't a big fan of. First, it's the less emphasis on other characters. Like, aside from Patrick Wilson and Ty Simpkins, the rest of the Lambert family just doesn't really have much to do. Then you also got Lee Winnell and Angus Sampson's characters. They're not in this movie. They were very much missed. And yes, it was great to see the lipstick demon again, but I feel like they could have utilized the character a little more than they actually did. But like I said, great to see him again. Just really wish they gave him more to do. And then aside from all that, you get a couple other characters in this movie. They're new characters. They're just completely unlikable. Do not care anything about them. And by the time they're done with their screen time, I'm like, thank you, I did not like them. But that's about all for the bad. On to the final thoughts. I really enjoy this movie, especially coming off the cusp of the fourth movie, which was absolutely terrible in my opinion. Insidious, The Red Door, really is a great note for the franchise to go off on if this is the final movie in the franchise. A hell of a directorial debut for Patrick Wilson, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on Insidious: The Red Door. Have you seen this movie yet? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it, if you have seen it. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.